one such evening, Sri Ramakrishna was sitting with his couple of disciples and devotees, and somebody brought them a glass full of juice. And as the juice was brought and the glass was kept, a lot of these flies, see, they started hovering around the glass of the juice. They were even sitting on the glass of juice. And Ramakrishna looked at that and was laughing. And people who were around, they got curious as to why was he laughing. And he said, look at these flies and their plight. All of them want to taste the juice, but none of them want to jump in. They all want to taste the juice, all the flies. But none of them have the courage to jump into the glass for the fear of death, for the fear of losing their lives. So all life they will be sitting on the tumbler, on the edge of the glass, but they will never taste the juice. That is the plight of most of the devotees. All life they can chant my name, they can sing my glory, they will talk about me, they will write about me, they will give discourses and satsangs, they will travel around the world also. At the end of it, they have still not jumped into the glass, into the juice, for the fear of what will happen to us if we become that. So even you spend hours, days, weeks, months and years, decades together with God, if you haven't learned how to jump in, the plight is like the boat tied to the tree. Somebody asked me, Swami, you have been preaching for so long. How is that there are no Jivan Muktas amongst your devotees? There are millions of devotees, isn't it? Millions. Those who claim themselves to be devotees. Terms and conditions apply. Those who claim themselves to be devotees of Swami by virtue of keeping a photo of Swami or knowing Swami or vibhuti or white dress or coming to ashram and doing seva or having read a few books by Swami, on Swami, or by virtue of associating themselves with some centers and such things. They claim themselves to be devoted. But we have gone through the Bhakti Yoga in the very first attempt and we understood very little claim that we can have as devotees, because the one whom he calls devotees, the standard itself starts where our efforts end. Anapeksha, finished. He has no desires. First word of Krishna on a devotee is anapeksha, no desires. Achieve that one word in a whole life and then claim that you are a devotee. Then a dear devotee and a very dear devotee. Some people ask me, how can I become dear to you? How can I become near to you? Now they know the formula. To be near, you have to be dear. Now how do you become dear? And they say that, they ask me, I have to simply point towards Krishna and tell him that the very first word, anapeksha, a thought that has been passionately pursued, should be given up. After that, you claim yourselves to be devotees. So such people who have plenty of desires in their head, yet outwardly they're engaged in all kinds of activities. They'll be busy from morning till evening. All the time they're busy doing something in this name of service, mission, but they're all driven by gunas. They're so rajasic that they just can't sit quiet. So though they tell I am doing Jagat Hitaya, but actually they are not really doing that. Jagat Hitaya may or may not happen along with it. But what is happening, Atmano Mokshatam is not happening in that process. That's why both have to go together like the two sides of the coin. If the act of Jagat Hitaya is not leading to Atmano Mokshatam, moksha, mohakchaya, then that coin is counterfeit. So many people said, I served you for 50 years, I served you for 60 years. How is it that I still have not realized myself? Because you never tried to realize yourself. You never tried. You tried to serve, but you never tried to realize yourself. And that is why you are still where you are rowing the boat. So they say, Atmana Mokshatam is happening, but it's not happening because they are only engaged in Jagatitaya. That also is some kind of a desire to be known and seen as somebody who is running a trust or somebody who is involved in a lot of activities of the service and the society, and therefore that person gets acknowledged, gets named and everything else. So therefore there is no point in having done one part and not the other. So as he said, you are doing bhajans good, you are doing seva, you are teaching, you are working, you are doing everything that the Jagat Hitaya is happening because of that. Because you go to the office, you run the trust office, because the trust runs, therefore so many schools and hospitals and whatever service activities, Annapurna, this like, all that is running. Because you sing bhajans, there is activity of the ashram. Many people come, they listen to God's name, they feel better. And some people who have come with some pain, they feel relieved. Some people have come with some disturbance, they feel peaceful. Jagat Hitaya is happening. The big question that I'm asking right now is that you all have become adept in Jagat Hitaya. Have you practiced Atmanamokshartam? It will not happen on its own. It will not happen on its own. That also needs effort. Just like Jagat Hitaya will not happen on its own. It needs an effort. Like somebody said, Kolar, we have to give 2,000 families ration kits we have to give. Somebody has requested. I said, go give. Now if I just sit here and say, let the kits appear there, it's not going to appear. Somebody has to procure it from the ration shop. Somebody has to make bundles, identify the families, then take permissions, travel, hand over the kits, then only Jagat Hitaya has happened. But in the process, if somebody only sought name, fame, recognition, or even if no name, fame, recognition, a sense of feeling of goodness, I am a good person, I have done this while the rest of the world doesn't care. Atmanamokshartam has not happened. So now my whole effort is that Jagat Hitaya part you have understood. Atmanamokshartam part let us understand. That is the motivation right now. Prophetic poet, Rumi is their name. He said, I once had 1,000 desires, but in my one desire to know you, all other desires melted away. Look at the profoundness of the statement. I definitely had 1,000 desires at some point in time, but in my one desire to know you, all desires melted away. Kaschid dhira, some discriminating, courageous, valorous one, pratyaga atmanam aikshat. I want to know my Atman. I want to know who I am. It means who God is. I want to know you. Kaschid dhira. Pratyaga atmanam ikshat. I want to know. How do I know? Avrita chakshu amrutatvam icchan. He turns his gaze inwards, observes his mind, observes his senses, keeps them under control and does what? Why? Because he wants amrutatva. He wants immortality. Therefore, he has only one desire. I want immortality. I want to know the Atman. I want to know you. And such a person is so clear. That is the motivation. I know to be God. I want to become God, be God. That is how I know God. Somebody asked me, how do I know you, Swami? I said, to know me, you have to become me. There is no other way you can know me. You can think you know me. Swayam dhira, pandita, manyamana. I am no Swami. I know who he is. I know what he likes, what he does not like, what he likes to eat, what he does not like to eat, where he wants to go, where he does not want, what subjects he likes. You can give a commentary, discourse of the whole thing. But still you are claiming yourself to be dhira. You have known Swami as an external form. You have not known Swami as the internal self. Therefore, Jagat Hitaya happened, Atmanamokshartam didn't happen. Because you only put efforts to know Swami from outside. And all that you thought Swami is from inside was only in theory. He is Parabrahma Swarupa, Satchidananda Swarupa. What do you understand out of it? Does these words mean anything to somebody who doesn't know what it truly is? Parabrahma Swarupa. What is Parabrahma? No idea. No, there is a state of higher supreme consciousness. That is what he is manifested. How does it help you? So what does it do to you? No, I know he is. So how does it make a difference to you? What way it benefits you? I can give a good discourse, I can talk, I can go to samitis and impress audience with my oratory. I can write books, and books can be published and sold. I can be known as a very famous devotee and orator and speaker in Swami's circles. That's all. That's all. What is the use? What is the use of knowing it all as a theory? What is the use of hovering around the juice glass? I never tasted it. Oh, juice is very tasty, it is very sweet, it is red color, green color. Yeah, keep on describing. What is the use? You never tasted it. So you can never speak about Swami because you don't know anything about Swami. That's why when people used to simply stand up on stage and keep talking something or the other, Swami is this, Swami is that, Swami is this, without having got any experience of it. All this is bookish knowledge. They assume or they imagine it to be so, and they go on talking. So what happens? I get headache listening to such talks when people talk like this without any true understanding. At the best, they can tell Swami is Karunamaya, Swami is Premamaya, Swami is Sevamaya, Swami is Bhakta Paradina, Swami is Bhakta Rakshaka. I can understand because those are the experience they have had. So speak about that. Swami is very kind-hearted, he is compassionate, he is kind to the poor, he is kind to his devotees. All these you say, perfect. Because you have experienced it. But the moment you say he is Parabrahman Swarupa, he is Atma Swarupa, he and I are one, what authority do you have other than theoretical knowledge? Na medhaya, na bahuna shrutena. With your intelligence you don't know me. By talking about me or listening about me, you don't know me. What is the use? Is the question that you must ask yourselves. See, this questioning is very important to yourself, not to me. Don't question me, but question yourself. That what is the benefit of me if I sit by the river and die of thirst? What is the use of being Pandavas living with Krishna and not attaining the moksha at the end? If that can happen to them, it can happen to us also. So when somebody said, why there is no Jivan Mukta? Why we don't hear about people who have attained Brahman in your presence when you were around or when you are around, as the case may be, is because they never are focused on it. You get what you focus on. If you don't focus on that, you don't get that. So you are only happy focusing on Swami's compassion, kindness, Swami's giving nature, Swami's forgiving nature, Swami. So you bother yourself with only that half of Swami's personality. You never probed into the other half of the personality except for a little intellectual excursion into it and coming back. But no experiential understanding of that part of Swami. How many have understood? He is Prema Swarupa. Yes, you have experienced Prema. Karunamaya, experience Bhakta Paradina, all right. He is Dina Bandhava, perfect. He is Sevaka, perfect. But when you say he is the master, what have you understood? When you say he is Parabrahma Rupa, what have you understood? If you have not understood, how does it benefit you? He asked, what is in it for me? Narendra Modi, I heard one speech of his, he says, everybody asks these two questions. Every human being. Isme mera kya? What is in it for me? They say there is nothing in it for me, then they say mujhe kya? Then why should I be bothered about it? Mera kya? So you ask, Swami is Parabrahma Swarupa, all right. Mera kya isme? I'll get free education, is that all? I'll get to work in Swami's institutions, peaceful, nice institutions. Is that all? I will be able to sing bhajans and play music instruments in front of me. Is that all? Isme mera kya? What else is there in it for me? Have I really, like the sugar cane, have I chewed it well and taken all the juice? Or have I halfway through thrown it? That is the question you have to ask. Because God by himself, as he said, neither I am the doer, nor I am the non-doer, I am Sakshi Bhuta. I only inspire others to do what they need to do. So that inspiration, taking it and using it and benefiting from it is totally in your hands. This I repeat in every satsang every day so that you are never forgetful of this fact that much, in fact, everything lies on your shoulders only. There is nothing lies with me. I don't do anything, I just watch you. And if you put some effort and look up to the teacher and say, I am not able to solve this problem, help me, then I may intervene and help you. But beyond that, I don't do anything. I allow you to learn on your own, at your own pace. But my method is, the sleeping should wake up. The waking should sit up. The sitting should stand up. The standing should walk. The walking should reach. The reaching should merge. Everybody should progress every day a little from where they were. If till now you were sleeping on this thought of Who cares? Brahman, oh Brahman, wake up. Uttishtha. Woken up, Jagrata. Be alert. And then start walking. But every day, if you are not seeing this progress within yourselves, I am simply talking to the walls. You have to tell yourself whether I am seeing the progress on me. So what is the first progress that you should see? You should be more distressed this week than what you were last week. That is the progress. You should be more uncomfortable, troubled, disturbed this week than what you were in the last week. If that is happening, then I know you are progressing. You will say, what are you talking, Swami? If I am progressing spiritually, I should actually become happier this week than the last week. Last week I was observing the mind, I was kind of happy. Some people have written to me, Swami, it's a new experience for me. I never took it so seriously. Now I am doing. I am feeling better. I also understand how many things are hiding inside me, which I never noticed. So they felt better. This week you feel terrible because now the real work starts. Somebody wrote, Swami, the more I think of discarding the thought, the more that thought comes and sits on me and troubles me. I was not noticing it, it was better for me. That is what perfectly is called ignorance is bliss. That is what is ignorance is bliss. Problem is there, I just don't want to acknowledge it till it becomes really a trouble, and then we will see. So this kind of postponement is a spiritual lethargy is what I was calling. Adhyatmik alasyam idi. Spiritual lethargy. I don't want to deal with these things, we deal with my mind and issues. So what happened? The first step you did is, you identified all your things and then you went and said, which one should I pick up? Which one should I discard? The more you thought of discarding something, the more it came and started hovering around you. Can't get rid of it. So how do I deal with this? Somebody asked. I said, suppose that day he told, no, suppose an insect gets inside this room right now. It wants to be here. It likes it. But you don't want it to be here. Because it can sting you, it can sting her, it can sting him, it can do anything. It's a bee or it's some kind of a insect, poisonous. So what do? You want to chase it out. Now chasing out is an effort or not. If you leave it like that, it will be there somewhere hovering and finally it will come and sting you at some point in time. So what do? You have to take one stick or you have to take one net or whatever and start chasing the insect out. The more you chase the insect out, the more it runs inside. Have you noticed that a bird gets inside the classroom? You should see the enthusiasm of the children to get the bird out of the classroom. All on desks, chairs, everywhere. Look at the chaos that the classroom becomes. If you had done nothing, probably the bird would have flown 2-3 times and sat on one corner. But we don't want the bird inside. We want the bird outside the classroom. Look at the effort of the whole class. Everybody is upon their knees, standing up, down, jumping, getting the bird out. The more you try to get the bird out, the more the bird flies inside the classroom. The more the bee you want to get it out of the window, the more it flies around and troubles you. That's how these vasanas are. They don't want to get out of yourself. They're very happy sitting inside you. But you don't want him to be here. Why? Because this can be harmful some point. Today it may not be harmful, but someday it can be. What do you know about it? So we better get rid of it. So when I'm saying get rid of it and you start take one stick or a whatever bat and start running behind that insect, it will trouble you more. It will run and run and run and run, and there'll be a competition. Who gives up first? How do people win a competition? Between two people, if there is a competition, it's about who gives up first. Isn't it or not? It's not about who does more. It's about who does less. It's not who put the effort more. It's about who put the effort less. That's how you win a competition. So between your mind and you, the competition, this has begun. This feud has begun. Now it's the question of who gives up first. You give up first or the mind gives up first? Who tires first? Who winks first? That's all is the secret. If you keep pursuing that bird out of the class, okay, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, it will go at the 11th minute because it will say there is no way I can be in this class. This is a class of notorious students. They won't let me survive if I stay here. It will realize it will not make its nest over there, it will run away. fly away, isn't it? But suppose you give up. Slowly it will make one nest. It will bring one twig from outside. Then so slowly there is a nest right on top of your head. Then slowly it will lay eggs over there, and 4 more birds will come out of it. And whole time the class, noise, disturbance. The teacher is suffering, you are suffering, you can't hear. Your concentration is there on the bird, not on your classroom. So many things will start one after the other. But if you chase the bird out for whatever reason, put some effort, it will go once for all. It will know that I will go to 6th B, but I will not go to 6th A. 6th A, people will chase me out. I will go to 6th B rather. They are lazy fellows, they don't care. That's what the bird will think. Will it not? Same thing with our thoughts. Why it is troubling you more when you are trying to get rid of it? Because it doesn't want to go. Paranchikani yatirat swayambhu tasmat paran pashyati na antaratman. The body, the senses, the mind have been created. See, this is very important. By Lord Himself. How? Outgoing in nature. They have been created that way. That is the game. They have been created as outgoing. And who wins the game? Who turns them all in? They win the game. So between your senses and mind and your buddhi, a tussle has begun. Tug of war, have you seen tug of war? There is some people pulling from this side, there is some people pulling from that side. It's not the question of who pulled longer, it's the question of who gave up first. Who gave up first? I saw a small tug of war competition, and there almost all the people had crossed the line. There are 10 students this side, 10 students that side, and you have that ribbon in between and the line. 1, 2, 3, 9 students have been pulled onto the other side. Now only one fellow is left. Only one fellow is left. If he also is pulled off to the other side, the game is over. Because all the participants, all the team members have been pulled into the other side. Now this fellow decided, I just don't want to give up. So what if 9 have gone? See, 9 are still putting effort to pull it. But unfortunately, they have gone to the other side. But one is still standing behind. He doesn't want to give up. He says, let me give my entire thing to this. Let me give the 100% and more, 200% to this pulling. He's the last person. He can as well decide, 9 have gone, what can I do? I can also leave it. It's anyway. Nobody will blame me because 9 people went the other side. How can they blame one single poor soul? But he realizes that 9 are still putting the effort, even though they have slipped on the other side, they're still pulling it on the opposite side. And if he gives some little more strength, probably everybody will come back. And I saw that video and how that child, tied that rope around his waist. He's turning and turning and turning, but not giving up. Prapya varan nibodhita. Not giving up. Turning and turning and tying the rope around his waist to get better grip. Pulling himself back, falling on the floor, all kinds of things he's doing. And I was laughing, saying that look at this fellow's tenacity. Anybody else would have given up saying, anyway, 9 are gone, why should I struggle? He struggled. He pulled all of the 9 back and everybody, these people won the tug of war. It inspired me. He didn't give up till the last moment. Many of us put one effort, let me get rid of this thought, little trouble. We give up first. And then the thought sits there and multiplies into many more thoughts. Those many more thoughts multiply into many more, and they just increase by the minute. We don't realize them also, that they're increasing. But one effort if you put and not give up till the end. That's why I say, Pattin dedayo pattane pattitivi. Pattinegedu daka atte undu. What you have decided, determined, you have persevering. Don't give up till you get it. కోరిన దేదయో కోరనే కోరితివి కోరిక చెల్లేడు దాకా కొలుచు ఉండు. Don't move from there till your desire is fulfilled. Desire means this higher desire, to know Atman, Amritatvam Icchan. The one who wants to know Atman, wants to attain immortality. Now I won't give up. I won't give up. So what if once more it's coming and troubling me more? It's but natural, like the bird which does not want to go out and we have to put extra effort now. So put that effort. Don't give up. Nachiketa, I was telling about Kathopanishad. His father got irritated with him, this Vajashravas, because he was doing a yajna like this yajna, Jagat Hitaya yajna he was doing. because he wanted to attain heaven and things like that. What he was doing, he was giving old sick cows in donation, who will not yield any milk, but who will be rather a burden on somebody who was basically passing on his burden onto somebody else. It was sattva. To yajna is what kind of activity? Is it tamasic, rajasic or sattvic, supposedly? Sattvic activity. But was it sattvic in nature when he was giving away dying cows and those who were not capable of yielding milk? That is what I am saying. Sattvic desire can also be dangerous. So he was giving a Nachiketa question. Nachiketa represents the buddhi. Father represents the manas, who has plenty of desires, including sattvic desires. You can say he was a better mind because he was not desiring for... See, Bhasmasura also did tapas to destroy people. Ravana also did tapas to gain all kinds of vidyas. Hiranyakashipu did tapas, gained all kinds of boons. So they were also doing tapas. But this tapas which Vajishra was doing was for a higher reason, but even then it was not real tapas, real yajna, because he was lying to the Brahmins who were coming and he was giving sick cows. So Nachiketa is the buddhi. He questions. Buddhi's job is to question the mind. Buddhi's job is to question the mind. And questions, oh mind, what are you doing? You are not doing the right thing. You are not supposed to give that cows. You will suffer in the hell. You will not attain heaven. Father who wants to mind doesn't want to listen to the buddhi. Keep quiet, shut up. He is trying to shut up Nachiketa, but Nachiketa doesn't give up. Again he goes and asks, no, you are doing is wrong. In that case, whom do you give me? I don't want to live with you. What is buddhi saying to mind? I don't want your company. You are not good. I will go and join the Atman. I don't want to deal with you. Because when you work in the world, mind needs buddhi as its associate to achieve anything. So buddhi said, I don't want to live with mind because it is very bad. I will rather go to the Atman. So what happened? Vajishrava said, get out, go to the Atman then. Go, I give it to Yama. Nachiketa goes to Yama. And what does he do? Waits for 3 days, 3 nights. And then Yama is on round picking up people. So finally he comes back after 3 days. Till then he's not there. Yama's wife and all are worried because they invite Nachiketa, but he says, no, I've come to meet Yama, I will not step in. Keeping a Brahmana hungry and waiting is a sin, Yama says. So he comes and first thing he says that, I'm sorry, here is some food and water. Please forgive us to make you having made you wait. Kindly ask 3 boons in return for the 3 days of waiting. So Nachiketa says, all right, the first boon that I ask for is that my father should become happy with me. And when I go back, he should accept me as his son. He should not be angry, and he should desire whatever he is aiming for, let it be fulfilled. See, he doesn't carry any hatred towards his father. Shuddha manas. Nachiketa is pure, because buddhi is pure. So he says, granted, go to your father, he'll accept you, he'll be fine. Second thing he says, I have heard that there is something called heaven, and people can attain it by various means. And I believe that devatas don't have a hunger and sleep and all these things that we are afflicted with in the Mrityu Loka. You don't have to suffer. How can I attain that, he asks. And then he goes to explain there is a particular yajna, there is a vidhi that is karma kanda. You do it this particular way, and how to light the fire, how to set the bricks, what kind of bricks, what class, how to do. All that he explains and says, not only that, I'm giving you an extra boon. This yajna will call Nachiketa yajna. Anybody who does it 3 times will attain Swarga. He will be called Tri Nachiketa, the one who has done this yajna thrice in his life. So it must be a big elaborate yajna. That details are not in Kathopanishad. Because that is not the idea of the Upanishad, to teach you how to go to heaven and enjoy heaven. We are looking at beyond that. So Nachiketa is okay with the second. Now he asks me the third boon. And he says, Yayam prete, after the death, vichikitsa manushya, all the people are deluded about what happens after death. Some say, Eke, asti iti, some people say, na asti iti, others say. That exists beyond death, some people say, and some people say that does not exist after death. Even devatas are not clear. Kindly, you explain to me. You explain to me. Anushishta, teach me. So it is the third boon. Now Yama is on red alert. Oh, this man has come to ask the truth of immortality. If he becomes like this, everybody start attaining immortality, then what will work I have? Isn't it? All patients, nobody falls sick, everybody is healthy. What work doctors will have? If all become kind and compassionate and harmonious, what work lawyers will have? If there are no thieves, nobody is stealing, nobody cheating, what use of police? So Yama would have thought, if I tell him the secret, then what will happen to me, my job? Brahman has given me also, Brahma has given some job, Prajapati has given me, I have to pick up these Agyanis and like Dobi, beat them on the stone of Mrithyuloka. Punah punah vashama padyate me. Because this job is punah punah. Catch them and keep them in his control and bring them back. That is Yama's basic job. And this Nachiketa is taking away his job. Show me immortality. I want to go out of this death and birth. Yama is on alert. Look at Yama. Look at Yama and his tests. Shatayusha. Take 100 years. Putra Pautradi. Vrunshva. Ask me for your children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren, how many ever you want. Bahun Pashun. Ask me for as many animals. That time animals were the wealth. No stocks, bonds, shares. Animals were the wealth. Ashwa, Hasti, Hiranyam. Ask me whatever you want. Gold, elephants. Ask anything. Not only that, Mahadayatanam. I'll give you as much land as you want to rule. Take that. If not, that is not. Swayam cha jiva sharado yavadichasi. As much as long as you want, live. 100 years also I withdraw. Infinite, blank check. Take it. But don't ask me this question. Don't kick me out of my job. Nachiketa, all of 7. Look at his reply. Shobhava. All these you are telling are very doubtful to me. Because I have seen they are not permanent. Shwa, I have some doubt. Bhava, doubt of that in their impermanence I have doubt. That they are not permanent what you are giving me. So I am not interested. And plus I have noticed, the one who enjoys all these things, what happens to them? Sarvendriyanam, all their Jarayanti Tejaha, all their Indriyas become weak by continuously engaging in bhoga. All their Indriyas fade and fail at the end. On top of that, look at Nachiketa. Api sarvam jivim api alpameva. Also I know that how much ever you live, ultimately is short only to enjoy. No, desires are like that. Give 100 years also, it's not enough. 101st year you will be again full of desires. Even Brahma has a limited lifespan only, he says. So, tavaiva vaha tava nritya gite. Keep your dance and music to yourself. What you are trying to tempt me with. I have noticed this. That all those people who enjoy these worldly pleasures, they become weak at the end. Plus life is temporary, do what you want. 100 years, 1000 years, even Brahma's life is limited. So keep your dance and music to yourself, tell me the truth. Don't shortchange me. Again Yama. No. I'll give everything else to you. All that which is possible in this Mrityuloka. Iva, Rama, Saratha, Saturya, music, dance, women, wealth, anything that one can ask for, you take it. No, I don't want it. No. Yoyam, he says, I want that. Gudham anupravishtaha, that which has become inaccessible to people. It has gone deep into the recesses of people and we cannot get it. Na anyaha, I don't want anything. This is my tritiya varam vranishvate. I'm asking you only this. Please don't fool me around. Look at Yama. He's so pleased. So pleased. He calls him Sathya Dhriti. You are Sathya Dhriti. Means you are determined. You are truthful and you are determined. Very rare to find a questioner like this. Yama himself acknowledges. So pleased he is. I tempted you with everything. But you are Satya Dhriti. Satya Dir Batasi, he says. I am pleased with you. So I will tell you. Because I rarely find somebody of this determination to know the truth, and I will nothing but the truth. I will not budge. Promise me anything, I will not budge. That is Nachiketa. He is my favorite child devotee. Prahlada is there. Of course, Nachiketa for his sharp intellect. Because we are discussing buddhi. Krishna says, buddhi yogena. Buddhi yoga also is required for you to attain me. So this is the buddhi yoga of Nachiketa. And then Yama starts revealing to him. See, that is what I was telling you, that this is very crucial. One, you have developed the determination. Satyadhriti you are. I shall not compromise. I shall not give up. How much ever that desire is not going out, thought is coming back, I will chase it out of the room. Till I chase it, I will not sit in peace. I shall not rest. Prapya varan nibodhata. I will not give up till I have got that thought out of my head. I will go after it. Let us see who gives up first. Definitely not me. Okay, one day it didn't happen. Second day I will chase it. Second day, third day I will chase. I will chase a whole lifetime, but I will get it out of me. That is the Nachiketa's determination. I want the truth, but nothing else than truth. So Yama says, Shreyo hi manushya metat tau samparitya vivinakti dhiraha. Shreya and Preya, these two things will come in front of every man. Like mixed, like milk and water. They will come in front of you. The good that you should do in life, plus that which is pleasurable to the senses and to the mind. Both will come together. Somebody said, Swami, this lower intelligence and higher intelligence, I am not able to differentiate. They look alike. I said, at least the first secret you have understood, that they look alike. They look alike. Mind will act up as, I am the higher intelligence and I am guiding you correctly. They look alike. It's very difficult to say, like twins, mirror images. How do I differentiate? But there is a secret. One is about Preya, one is about Shreya. That is the difference between the twins. The lower mind and the upper mind, or higher intelligence and lower intelligence. Mahabuddhi and just the buddhi. There is a difference. One talks about Shreya only, other talks about Preya only. Preya means it is immediately pleasurable to you, it satisfies your ego, it gives you an exhilarating feeling for the time being, it takes care of your immediate desires. You are angry with somebody, I must punish him. Yes, you must. Preyo. I must see how can I correct him. In what way should I take a decision so that it turns out to be good for them, good for us, and good for everyone else? I'll take time and decide. So other thing about the lower intelligence, the higher intelligence, lower intelligence is always in a hurry to take decision because it's always scared that it will get caught. So it wants to push you into a decision then and there. It doesn't want to wait because it knows if it waits, the higher intelligence might come and tell that this lower intelligence is actually fooling you. So what happens then? Like, you know, Surya's wife Chaya Devi, there's a story, and Shani. She recreates a replica of herself. And later this replica becomes more powerful than her and kills her because she doesn't want this man to come and live with this woman. So these so replicas are there of this mind. Lower replica which is fake, that is the Preyo mind, and the higher mind which is the Shreyo mind, Shreyo Buddhi. Mind I'm talking, mind is a combination of all the things. But today I'm keeping mind as the collection of desires and thoughts. I'm taking Buddhi as the higher aspect of mind, which is discriminating power, Vijnana. Manomaya Kosha, Vijnanamaya Kosha. This Vijnanamaya Kosha, you think like that. The knowledge sheath. It knows, it can discriminate. So what happens? This will be given to as mixed in milk and water, you know. Shreyo and Preyo combination. The lower mind will be very happy to immediately do what it wants to do. It doesn't want to give you any time because it's worried. What if your friend Viveka comes in? So let me not give him chance. Let me push him into this decision making. Let me push him into enjoying the senses that I wanted to. Because that's the only way I'll survive here. If Mantra has to survive, Bharata has to be the king. If Shakuni has to survive, Duryodhana has to be the king. So it wants to survive. It will not give time for you to decide. Before Bharata returns, let us decide and make a decision that Bharata will be king and Rama will not be. If Bharata was around, you think Mantra would have been able to fool Kaikai and get this boon out of Dasharatha? You think Bharata would have accepted it? When Viveka is sleeping, the higher mind is away, you're not paying attention. The lower mind plays. When cat is away, rats play, they say. So what happens, this mantra of the lower mind will quickly convince, let us go ahead and do this, take the decision before Bharata arrives. Because she knows that Bharata will not like this decision. And Kaikai in her moha, Agyanena avrutam, covered by the Agyana, moha of mother, she will be influenced by this lower mind to take the decision. You will be influenced. Because you have not waited for the higher mind to return and take the right decision. And who suffers? Atman suffers, Rama suffers at the end. Prakriti, Deha also suffers, mind, everybody suffers at the end. So what happens? This lower mind and higher mind will always have this tug of war. Who gives up is the question. So Preya and Shreya, every time they will come in front of you. And what does the Dhira do? The discriminating one, Dhi, means the one who possesses the higher Buddhi. What does he do? He separates it like how a swan would separate water and milk. Vivinakti separates the Dhira. And what does he do after that? He drinks the water. No, he drinks the milk. What does he do? He accepts Shreyo hi Dhiro Preyas vrinite. Dhira knows that Shreya, if you do, that is what will lead you to ultimate happiness. Therefore, I will accept the Shreya, the tough path, but the right path. Whereas, what do you call the other mind? Mando, dull-headed, dull-witted. What does it do? It goes for the pleasurable one. Mando, Preyaso, Yoga Kshema Vrinite. It thinks that is what is going to do its welfare, Yoga Kshema. Thinking like that, it goes behind the thing. I can exercise my authority today. Got a chance. Let me do it now. I have got an idea. Nobody knows, nobody is seeing, I can do secretly what I want to do. Without knowing that God is Guhayam Nihitam. It stays inside you only, not outside. But our mind will trick us. Don't worry, nobody knows. And Swami, Karunamaya, is compassionate. Don't even bother about him. That you can deal with him. Warden sees, then we have a problem. But Swami sees, no sees, doesn't matter. So what happens? Such a person, his mind convinces that person, it's all right to send Rama on a Vanvasa. Don't even wait till Bharata comes. Let us take the decision. And when the decision is not being taken by Dasharatha, mind will do all tantrums. Roll on the floor, cry, not eat, not sleep, all that Kaikai did. Mind will do all kinds of tantrums till it gets it. No, I want to do this. Dasharatha, no, I don't want to do it. Let us wait till Bharata comes. Let us know his opinion, whether he likes it. No, if Bharata comes, all this game is over. So mantra will come and keep on telling Kaikeyi, no, you roll on the floor, don't eat, throw your hair, make a mess, make a big scene out of it. Till Dasharatha succumbs to you. That is where we should not give up is the question. Wait for Bharata to deal with it. Means take your time to decide correctly. So when your desires which you are going after now, and they will put up a tantrum like Kaikeyi. They don't want to go. They want you to take a decision now. Wrong decision. Now, don't let these desires go. They are nice only. What's wrong? Everybody eats. No, you are eating. One day if you eat meat, what is wrong? That is also Brahman, this is also Brahman, Brahmarpadam, Brahmavid, Brahmagna, Brahmahuta. Everything is Brahman. Animal is Brahman, I am Brahman. It will give excuses. Now I've got these questions. Animals also Brahman, I am Brahman, everything. Then grass is also Brahman, that cow dung is also Brahman, eat that. Like these examples they'll give. So mind will convince you. Whatever you want to get rid of, it will try to convince very hard. When you don't get convinced, it will throw tantrums. It means it will disturb you. You sit for meditation, it will run everywhere, and that meditation will be the most horrible meditation you have had in the last 8 days. Mind will, like Kaikeyi, you should remember that story. It will roll, cry, protest, resist. It will do everything possible in its control till you succumb to it. But this time, learn that you have to wait for Bharata to arrive. The higher mind to take the decision, not the lower mind. That is the effort that you have to put when you are going through this process. Otherwise, what will happen if you give up too soon? either meditating or putting this effort to remove that thought from you, the deep, hidden, secret vasanas from you, it will just not help you at all. Whole life you will suffer because of that. And it's like this, once you give up the tug of war rope, everybody will get pulled up. Last bit of virtue also will become a vice. So you should not give up. You're losing grip, pray, pray, pray. God, I know at the end of the rope you are there. But I know you are not still pulling the rope because I have not given my best. But you are there. As Rama, you are there. I am fighting Wali, but I know you are there. You are the last member of my team. But I will do my best first. And keep putting that effort. Keep somewhere, if you really put that effort, you are so sincere, God will come and catch hold of the rope and pull it back. And all God's, who can withstand God's strength? Because He is the one source of all everybody's strength, including the mind strength is God's strength only. You have given it this to mind to use it. Tasya bhantam sarvamidam vibhati. It is His energy, His light which is shining everywhere, including in your mind and senses. They are dead without its consciousness. So therefore, pray to that God at that time when you are losing grip and losing the hold and you think you are going to cross the line. That mind, that time, this buddhi should kick in and tell you, at least I know you are putting your effort, but your senses are too strong. They are like unruly horses there compared to that. Unruly horses. Buddhi is unable to control them with the mind. They are running as they want. Buddhi is the charioteer. Mind is the bridle. It's trying to pull the horse back, but these horses are so unruly. They're running as they want. Pray to the Atmani, which is the sitting inside the chariot, the divine self. Pray. As a buddhi, I'm trying everything. I know it's wrong and I don't want to do it. I don't want it to repeat. Please help me. This mind and the horses are too unruly for me. I cannot deal with them. Please come over. Take over as my Sarathi. Then shift will happen. Arjuna will go inside, Krishna will come outside. He'll become the Sarathi and he will control those horses. And Arjuna can fight the battle peacefully. Do whatever he needs to do in his life. Study, play, sing, dance, learn Veda, learn music, or run a family, run an ashram. Arjuna can do his job. Because he has given the rein to Krishna, saying, I tried my best, I could not. But Krishna will simply not come out and sit first. You have to put your effort. So anytime you face a situation like this, pray to God. That is why I said prayer is important. Till day before I was not talking about prayer. Yesterday, because now the effort starts. And sometimes it may happen that your personal strength and conviction may not be enough to deal with those vasanas and ideas. So at that point in time when you're losing the grip and you know that this is going to go out of your hand, pray, pray, pray. Swami, please help me. God, please help me. I know you are there. I know you are there to help me. Please allow me to have that balance. Please allow me to have that focus. Please let me not give up. Even after that, let us see, even after that you have lost. And damage done. Even after this, let us say. Not doubting that you have not put your effort. You put whatever best effort you could put. And you called God, you didn't call God, whatever happened, it happened. Now what next? What can you do next, you say? One, learn, do some mananam on the whole thing. How did it happen? How did I lose this tug of war? Where did I give up? At what point I collapsed? Why I collapsed? Did I call upon God? Did I not call upon Him? Where went wrong? What went wrong? Sit and do the next day that chintanam. Again, ask yourself, learn yours from your own mistakes. I say always, mistake is not a mistake if it is done once. But if you knowingly repeat it again, then it becomes a mistake. But if you learnt a lesson and moved on, it's not a mistake. It's an experience. It's a lesson. Mistakes becomes a lesson. But if you don't learn from it, it remains a mistake and goes on happening. So some of these things, you get angry, you have no control over your temper. So how do I deal with it? You have some ideas and desires, you don't have any control. How do I deal with it? Ask yourself that. But as I said, I would still give some brownie points to those who have at least put the effort and failed, than those who didn't even put the effort. Sometimes teachers, maths theorem is there. You are proving the theorem. 3 steps right, after that, Brahma Vidya comes. Something gets equated with something and hence proved. Teacher looks at the question, answer paper and sees, look at this fellow. 2 steps, 3 steps he knew. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, no. 9, 10 suddenly appears because you know the answer. Answer is in the question. Prove this is equal to this. Right? So start 2 steps. Assume A is this, B is that, X is this, Y is this. Start the theorem. Then halfway through you lose the way. You don't remember the steps. Then write something. You think anyway teacher is too busy correcting paper, he'll see the first 2 lines, last 2 lines and give the marks. But our teachers are not like that. They'll go through every line and then say, this is where he lost his way. Papam. He tried 2 steps he knew, after that he forgot. Finally he wrote 2 steps, hence proved. So the teacher will say, okay, because he attempted, now I'll not give 5 marks to this boy, but I'll give 1.5 marks. Don't the teachers do that? Some teachers are here. Don't you do that? Okay, 1.5 marks. Not for those who simply copy the theorem and hence proved. For that, no marks. But teachers will think, at least he tried. 2, 3 steps he was going, somewhere he missed the boat. Okay, no problem. He has done some effort, I'll give 1.5 marks. That you will gain. That much grace you will gain. Because God will think, at least here she has put effort. Not putting effort is not acceptable. Not putting any effort is not acceptable at all. So put efforts. Now when you put efforts is what I said, this week will be tough. Because now what you are doing, mind till now was thinking, nobody is going to trouble me, it's only observation is going on and these people have done this for many births and I have been here permanently. These people are temporary, I am the permanent one here. These vasanas I have been carrying for hundreds of births, so nobody can dislodge me. Little did the mind know that this time you are serious. Because all this time you were not serious. This time you are serious, now it will panic. And like that bird or the cat in the room or the bee in the room, it will run everywhere, but they won't like to go out. You think the bird did not know which window it has come from? It knew, but it doesn't want to go out. That's why it's running here and there. You will be thinking, poor bird has lost its way, that's why it doesn't know how to go out of that window. No, the one who knew how to come through the window, it also knows how to go out of the same window. Their instincts are very, very sharp on these matters. But it doesn't want to go. It starts to stay. So these thoughts won't like to go, they would like to stay. Please take some time. Don't allow the prayer to kick in and take the decision and do wrong. Wait for the Shreya to arrive. Give it its time and pray. Pray. Okay, as I said, 2 steps you will go right, 3rd steps you will go wrong. Still some marks you will get. It's better than getting no marks. You have gone little closer. A big boulder is there. You want to break it into pieces. 1 stroke, it won't break. 2 strokes, it won't break. Maybe 20 strokes, it won't break. 21st stroke is what it was waiting for and you will give up on 20th stroke. The 21st stroke it would have broken because it has already become weak inside. But if you leave it at the 20th stroke, it will again become solid and strong and remain there forever. So the key is that. Keep putting efforts. Prapya varan nibodhata. Don't give up till you have achieved your goal. That is this week's effort. And I'm not saying you'll get rid of all your vasanas. The vasanas that have been accumulated over births, but you'll have better control over them. You'll have better sense of control over them. They cannot drive you anymore. Like the horses, you can control them now. They cannot run wherever they want. They cannot be untamed and unruly. They have to be tamed now. Mind has to be tamed. I'm not saying throw the mind out. I only said this. Unwanted things you throw out. Mind is required. It's an instrument. It's a good servant but bad master. So allow it to learn that it is a servant. So what if all this birth it was the master? This is the birth when he has to be humbled and tamed and made into a good servant. That you will attain. Few failures, perfectly okay. Don't drive yourself to the up the wall for this. You will not attain perfection one day. Vishwamitra also sat, he almost created a parallel universe competition to Brahma. Everybody got scared. They told this fellow is getting too powerful. Let us distract him. They sent one Menaka. This Menaka managed that. Indra sent saying that he'll create another Indraloka, Brahmaloka, everything is creating. What will be my job then? So he sent Menaka and she distracted him. Anyway, he got distracted. That's how, thanks to Menaka, Bharatvarsha is Bharatvarsha today. Because their Vishwamitra's grandson is Bharata. That's how it is Bharatvarsha today. So even a Vishwamitra is capable of getting distracted. But I'm not saying that you should not fail. I'm only saying you can fail, provided you have put your efforts. If you have not put effort and failed, then there is no excuse. Nobody will help you. God will also not help you. But if you know that I have the power, the buddhi is there with me, and it can actually come and take the right decision. Let my lower mind not take a decision right now. Don't hurry into it. And this week will be troublesome if you are really putting the effort. If you're not putting any effort, there's no trouble at all. Ignorance is bliss. Stay like that. But if you're putting effort sincerely, you will find some hurdles. Because the mind is suddenly aware that, it's going to be kicked out of or it's going to be tamed, it's going to be humbled this time. So what, in all these births you attempted, some feeble attempts were made, and it knows this person will come. This is a story of a bird. It was living in a field, on a farm, with 3 of its children. It so happened that the crop had matured, it was time for harvesting. So the farmer came. The farmer saw the crop and he told his younger son, tomorrow you come and harvest it. And they went back. So the children who were there waited for the mother bird to come from its collection of food. When it came, the children reported, the farmer and his son had come, younger son, and they are going to harvest this field tomorrow. So where shall we go? Where will we live? The mother bird said, you are too young, your wings are still tender, you cannot fly. But don't worry, they will not harvest it tomorrow. The farmer will not harvest. They will not know how the mother knows. Anyway, they quiet. Next day, the farmer's son does not come. A week passes, again farmer comes, is very upset. He brings his older son and says, you harvest it tomorrow. Because this is matured, it will get spoiled. So again the children, little sparrows, complain or report to the mother bird. Farmer had come with his elder son. He is going to harvest this crop tomorrow. What shall we do? She says, don't worry, you are still tender, you cannot fly, we have to wait. So they keep quiet. A week passes, the elder son also does not come. This time the farmer comes and says, my sons are useless, I will only harvest this tomorrow. And the mother comes back, the children report, Mother, this time the farmer came and said, he only will come and harvest it tomorrow. He said, okay, let's go. Because now he will do it. Because he has decided to do it. That is the secret of controlling your desires. Don't postpone, don't think it will be done. It will not be done. You have to do it. You have to take responsibility, take charge of yourself and do it yourself. The moment you do that, all the desires, like these birds flew out of the field, like the desires will flow out of you. And the most beautiful experience is when you are desireless. Most beautiful. A desireless person is the most fearless person. Never afraid of anything, anyone. Desireless person is the most selfless person. Never to hoard anything, never to hide anything. Always free. Desirelessness is truly freedom. Truly is emancipating. Nobody can bind you, hold you. Nobody can tell you what to do, what not to do, because you are desireless. You don't expect anything. If you do something out of your compassion and kindness for others, you may still do. But your desirelessness will make you so strong. It will make you so strong that you can face anything in life. Anything. Somebody gives you something, you will take it with equal-mindedness. Somebody takes it away in same equal-mindedness, you will let it go. So who can scare you with anything? Who can tempt you with anything? Look at the power of being a desireless person. But it doesn't mean that when you have to do things, you will not use your mind, you will not apply your intellect. No, you will. You will behave like anybody else. But with a control on everything. This time you are dictating the terms. You are not being dictated. This time you are decision maker. Nobody is making a decision for you. This time you do as you want. And you are not being made to do what mind wants. That's all is the difference. You will still probably go from brahmacharya to grihastha to vanaprastha. You may follow that path. But you will be following it with complete control over yourself. You will not be shaky and you will not be driven by anything. And you will live a peaceful life, happy life. Nobody can distract you with anything. That is the power of having a pure mind with no desires. And as I said, one desire to know you, all other desires melt away. So put that effort. Little effort also you put. I am telling you again and again that your grace is there right behind you. If you put a little sincere effort, pass. Thresholds are low. It's easier now than any time later. So use this great opportunity to do a lot of practice. We don't know when this opportunity will come again. So spend time. If you have any other time, don't waste on other things. This month you don't waste on other things. You have friends to talk with, you have relations to inquire about, you have other books to read, you had started a novel, it's halfway through. Everything else can wait. This cannot wait. Everything else can wait. This cannot wait. This should happen now, here, immediately. There is no waiting here. So that decision you make. Now you come back in a day or two with the problems and difficulties that you are facing. Okay, but you definitely will know that your mind is little more adamant now than it was last week. You will realize that. When you start facing situations, it will come back bouncing with great vehemence because it doesn't want to die. It doesn't want to give up. It wants to control you. It doesn't want to be controlled. So it will fight, it will throw tantrums, it will do all kinds of things, but you keep telling, no, this time I am very clear. But births and births, you have made a slave of me. This time I will be the master, you be the slave. Times are changing, things are turning around, it cannot be the same way anymore. You have to keep telling your mind. Even if you, as I said, you cannot control it so much, at least you have begun the process. I will give you some points for those 2 steps or 3 steps that you have taken in this direction. Even if you have not concluded the entire proof, yet because you have taken some good steps, you still get some points. But at the end of it, insincerity should not be there. Ashraddha should not be there. With great Shraddha, you do your effort. I'm always there behind each one, not even behind, inside each one. If only you put effort, I will only come and help you. So that faith you should keep, pray like that and start getting rid of things. Make sure that it is out of the window. Don't let it go from this corner and settle down in another corner. Don't do that. Once for all, go after it.
प्रेमामृत बरसाओ बाबा प्रेमामृत बरसाओ बाबा प्रेमामृत बरसाओ बाबा प्रेमामृत बरसाओ बाबा दया करो तुम्हारी दया बिन कैसा जीवन,
तुम्हारी दया बिन कैसा जीवन।
रोम रोम में बसने वाले राम,
रोम में बसने वाले राम।
रोम रोम में बसने वाले राम,
रोम रोम में बसने वाले राम।
जनन मरण से पार उतारो,
जनन मरण से पार उतारो।
दया करो भगवान, कृपा करो भगवान,
कृपा करो।
दया करो भगवान, कृपा करो भगवान। प्रेमामृत बरसाओ